Hey, what's up, everybody? Let me close my curtains so everybody doesn't get distracted by my Huggies box I got back there. I don't actually wear Huggies, obviously, but they make good storage boxes, and I got a ton of them, so why not use them? What's everybody doing today? Where's everybody at? What's going on? Hey, everybody, what's up? What's going on? I am here. I'm in Michigan right now. Just picked up a load of produce. It's a really good load. It's going about 160 miles down the road. So, yeah, makes for a pretty good load. Hey, there's DB 215. I just seen your comment where you missed the notification. No problem. Hopefully you got it this time. I'm trying out some new times here. Just trying to see when's a good time to go live. A good live. You need some people to come in and have some conversation for a good live. So, um, Fatty 2x4 is in here. I don't know why it does that. Every time I go live, like for the first 5 minutes, it keeps pausing, and I don't know if YouTube isn't. I don't know if there's too much going on at YouTube, and it slows it down because I am on Wi-Fi right now, so I know I have signal. But anyway, I was saying Fatty 2x4 says at the Road Ranger in Marshall, Illinois, about to roll out to Granite City. All right. I'm in Michigan right now, and it is raining. And I just picked up a load of produce. It's heavy, but there's no scales along the route, so I'm gonna say it's legal, but it feels heavy. It sure does feel heavy. I've got the scale on the truck. I mean, I got my truck tandem set at about 33,000 pounds right now. So as long as it's not overweight, over the 40, what do they say it is? The customer says it's 42,100. So it's a load of produce. It's a mix of everything. It's bell peppers, it's hot peppers, it's cucumbers. Um, some shady stuff going on with this load right here, though. I went and picked it up, and the broker called me like when I first got the load. He calls me and he says, "Hey, whenever they give you the bill of ladings for that load, whatever you do, don't give those bill of ladings to the customer that you're delivering to." He said, "I'm going to email you some bills for the customer." So I got to go in Love's here in a minute and print off some bill of ladings, which I don't know. To me, that sounds a little shady. I don't know. I was looking at the email he sent me. So basically, they're saying on the new bills he gave me, they're saying it's coming from somewhere else than where these bills actually came from. So looks like and sounds like some hijinks to me. Um, so let's see here. Dan Terlik. Telerki. I don't know. I'm horrible with names, man. Sorry. We're just gonna go by Dan because I am horrible with names. I don't English well, so forgive me on that. Said, "Hey from Michigan." Yeah, I'm in Michigan right now myself. My day is pretty much done. I drove about, I don't know, 80 miles, picked up a load of produce, drove it about 60 miles, and I'm done for the day because this is the last fuel stop along the route. It's only a 160-mile load, so I got to get up in the morning and do about 100 miles. But I wanted to stay here because, I mean, I could buy $20 worth of reefer fuel, down the road, $20 to $30 in the morning to fill it up. But I like staying at Love's. I don't know, just I get free showers. Typically nicer place to stay. So I said I'll shut it down here and I'll just do 100 miles in the morning. It ain't like it's a big deal. I ain't got to be there till 10 a.m. their time, 9 a.m. my time. DB215 says, "Yep, yeah, I'm glad." I don't know. Sometimes YouTube is weird with the notifications. It's like, yeah, I don't know, because there's people I know I'm subscribed to, and I didn't get, a notification for anything from them for like 2 weeks, and finally I'm like, that guy was putting out videos like, a couple a week, and all of a sudden now I get nothing. So I searched his name, and I wasn't even subscribed to him, and I'm like, I know I was subscribed with the, everything. So I don't know. YouTube's funny with that. Paul Harris, welcome, Paul Harris. Thanks for coming in. Says, good morning. Hope your week will go well. Yeah, it's starting off good. I got a little short load here that's 160 miles, but boy, it's paying good for 160 miles. So we'll get that delivered up in the morning, and then we will probably be looking for a longer load after that. I don't know. Maybe time to get back to the house. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been home. Maybe I need to swing by the house. But it seems like freight's doing good. It's paying good right now, so I'm trying to, get it while I can. You never know with the, shutdowns and everything. You just don't know. It's like they start shutting stuff down, and it gets rough. All right, sorry for the delay there, guys. I'm having I don't know. It's not on my end. It's got to be YouTube that keeps throwing the delays. I don't know if it's something with the servers or something. I know about as much about computers as my grandfather, so but yeah, appreciate you coming in, Paul Harris. Hope it will be a good week. I thank you for that, and I hope you have a good week too. If y'all could hit the thumbs up for me, that. Okay, apparently I shouldn't say anything bad about YouTube because they didn't like it. YouTube's the greatest. Have I said that today? They're awesome. Don't talk bad about YouTube because it just totally kicked me off there for a second. Let's see. Paul Harris says shady as heck. Yeah, it's Okay, I guess YouTube recognizes I was being sarcastic when I said they're the greatest. I don't know, it just keeps pausing up on me. I appreciate everybody hanging with me though through all the pauses, because it does this every time I start a live. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But anyway, like I was saying, Paul Harris says shady as heck. Yeah, there's something going on there, because number one, it pays really good, and in trucking, typically if something pays like above and beyond, there's something going on there. So I don't know. I just pick stuff up and move it for money. That's all I do. I drive this truck, and I don't question a whole lot of what's going on back there in the back, because yeah, you just don't know. It's best to not ask a lot of questions. I used to do loads out of Laredo occasionally that picked up at the shadiest looking warehouse you've ever seen. And on the bill of ladings, it would say it was spaghetti pasta. And they would ship it from Laredo all the way to Tennessee. And it delivered out on a dirt road to just a little metal building that had like the most basic dock you could ever imagine. It was like just, like still had the forms on it. Like they just poured a little bit of concrete to make a ramp, and that was their dock. And I was thinking to myself, why would you ship spaghetti from Laredo? So it obviously probably came from Mexico somewhere to Laredo, and then all the way to Tennessee to some little rinky-dink warehouse, literally on a dirt road, like in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. I don't question things, though. I just deliver it for money. I will say this. The first time I picked that up, I was a little nervous when I went through that checkpoint coming out of Laredo. The one like 30 miles out of Laredo. So yeah, we're back. I appreciate everybody sticking with me through all these glitches. I have no idea what's going on. I may... All right, I think I'm back. I don't know. I'm watching. I got another phone over here to see kind of what's going on, and yeah. But But yeah, those spaghetti loads used to make me a little weary, when I got to that checkpoint north of Laredo. I always was never felt safe when I got there. Um, so, and back when I was going to Laredo a lot, they used to tell us, because I had a T600, and it was like a mid roof, and it had the top fairing on it. And they told us, before you leave Laredo, double check underneath that top fairing, because they were having illegal immigrants climb up into that fairing, like up the back of your truck, up the back of the sleeper, and crawl into where the fairing, goes over the top of the roof, and they would lay up there, until you made your first stop, and then they would climb out. And hey, they were Americans at that point, I guess. But yeah, I always remember that about Laredo. I'm like, what the crap is going on there? People climbing up in there. Fatty 2x4 says they don't want the customers to know about the heroin stuffed jalapenos. Yeah, it's I told them, I said, yeah, sorry about all the glitching, guys. I don't know, it just keeps pausing on me. So yeah, I told the guy, I said, well, I gotta have the original bills, because if I get pulled over, and the DOT wants to see the bills, I can't have bills that say the load came from, Alabama, going to New York, and I'm over here in Michigan. Like, that don't add up, But yeah, we're taking it from Michigan down into Ohio, 150 miles. So I don't know, man. There's something fishy going on there. But like I said, I don't ask questions. I just drive the truck, and that's it. Wild Bill is here. Appreciate you coming in. Wild Bill said, hey brother, where are you today? I am in Michigan right now. I'm at the Loves. My day is done. I drove about 80 miles, picked up a load of produce, and then drove it about, 60 miles over here to the Loves, where I'm going to spend the day and the night. And I'm hoping the little restaurant pub thing over here opens up, so I can go over here and have some lunch and not have to have fast food. I went to go get Denny's last night, and I seen Trucking Answers in here. Appreciate you coming in, Mark. I made it to Gary. I stayed at that Loves right there in Gary last night. Went in to go get some Denny's for dinner, and they only got like half the seating open, so I go in. There's like 3 or 4 people waiting. I'm like, I'm not gonna wait. I go out to the truck. I'm like, I'll just order online. Well, I go to order online. I put my order in, and it says there was an error. So I clear it all out. I start it all over again. I go through it all again. Second time, there was an error. So I ended up calling that Denny's, and the girl tells me, yeah, we're not taking orders because our cook quit. So I'm like, well, what the hell? Like, nobody else can cook what's going on at Denny's? Like it's some big mystery to, like fry an egg, or, throw a hamburger patty on a grill. Like, is it really that big a deal? But I guess they got some, you got to be highly skilled and trained to cook at Denny's in Gary, Indiana. Paul Harris says, Loves have better showers. It's a newer brand and newer building. Yeah. The thing about a Loves is it seems like, they actually clean and repair things when things break, unlike the Flying J and the, Pilot, and the TA. I always complain about the TA, and the Flying J seem the worst to me, as far as like when I feel like they build them and then they never look back. Like, it's like, oh, okay, well, that broke. Oh, well, no big deal. I mean, if you can go to a Flying J and every fuel pump is open and working, it's a miracle. Every time I go to Flying J, there is one pump that is down. But I don't really fuel at any of those anyway, so I'm a Loves person. Paul Harris, yeah, Loves are, yeah, they're just, I don't know, they're cleaner everything. The parking lots aren't full of, soiled men's basketball shorts and, refilled Gatorade bottles. Trucking Answers says, Mexico is known for its spaghetti orchards. Yeah, I bet there's something going on down there. Wild Bill, I used to consider myself a commodities relocation engineer. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I move stuff for money. That's my company slogan. I move stuff for money. I don't get into what it is or anything like that. I just need to know a few things about it. I need to know what it weighs, where it's going, and how much it's paying. And that's about the gist of what I need to know. Calvin Leak says, "What's up? What's up, Calvin? I appreciate you coming in. Appreciate everybody coming in today." Um, Calvin says, when I used to be leased to Great Wide pulling Tyson trailers, they used to sneak up in the top of the roof of the Tyson trucks. They used to have them ProStars. Yeah, they used to warn us. I didn't go to Laredo a lot. Well, I used to do nothing but Laredo and back, but that was a totally different company. But yeah, this one company, they used to tell us, before you leave the yard, you need to check for two things. You need to make sure you got lights at the ass of the trailer. You need to make sure you got tail lights, and you need to make sure there's no Mexicans in between the roof of your truck and the top of your fairing. And being a new driver, and it was a little bit like, what? Like, what are you telling me to do? So yeah. Calvin Lake says, where are you in Michigan? One of my trucks is in Lansing. I am over near Jackson area. I don't remember the name of the town specifically. I know I'm near Jackson, because that's like the most major town over here. This Trucker's Life is here. Hey, thanks for coming in, This Trucker's Life. Then Mark from Truck Andrew says, moons over my hammy is an art. It must be. You can't just go in there, because I was ordering a double cheeseburger with tater tots. A nutritious, balanced meal. And I was like, the girl on the phone was like, well, our cook quit, so we can't cook anything. And I was like, well, can I use your grill? Can I come in there and cook it myself? I mean, it's basically frying two patties. I mean, like, let's get serious about it. Put some tater tots in a basket, drop them in the deep fryer. I don't know, let them go till they float or whatever. I don't know. There's like a science to that, but I think I can figure it out. I mean, I don't think it's a rocket science. But yeah, moons over my hammy, definitely an art form. Wild Bill Anderson says it's a science to double cover and double smother food with cheese and onions. Yeah, it's there's more to it than I thought, apparently, because I thought you took a handful of shredded potatoes and threw them on a grill, and you let them turn brown, and then you take a spatula and you flip them, and basically you let that other side turn brown, and boom, that's hash browns. Apparently there's a few steps in there I don't know about, so I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Trucking Answer says burger group, cheese group, and fried potato group. Yeah, those are the most important food groups. When you build a food pyramid, you need to have the base be made up of meat, and then that middle layer needs to be cheese, and then that upper top layer should be more meat, preferably bacon or ham. That's kind of how I build my food pyramid. Wild Bill Anderson says, hey, Cassius King, I heard Mark from Trucking Answers wears a hairpiece. Yeah, he gets his the same place I get mine, I do believe. I'm going for like Bruce Willis in the 80s, like. Calvin Lake says, gotta know how many dices of peppers go in that omelet. Yeah, I mean, apparently there's something to that, because, my thought was, you crack a few eggs, you throw some stuff in there, you flip it over, and then, that's an omelet. But apparently you have to go to the Denny's culinary school of arts and science to be able to throw hamburger patties on a grill. And it's funny that I think about that now, because I believe, and I got to look this up, but I believe in Minneapolis, if I'm not mistaken, South Minneapolis, Denny's has a cooking school. Now that I think about that, I think when I was Ubering, I took someone there. I'm gonna have to look that up. That's got me curious now. Can you imagine going to the Denny's cooking school? I guess that's where they teach you what smothered and covered and all that means, because that's a real controversy. So yeah, gotta know how to make an omelet. Calvin Leak says, gotta have the round amount of ice cubes in that Diet Coke. Yeah, that's for sure. I know. When I went in there to Denny's, it did not feel like they had the air conditioning on. I was like, that's kind of why I was like, I'll just go to the truck, because like, I can't sit in here and eat when it's 95 degrees in here. All right, are we back? Are we back? As glitchy as it can be today. Apparently, Sunday morning is not good for Google. They're like, no, we'll do this later. So, yeah. Apparently, Denny's shuts down if the cook leaves. And I thought about going across the street. There's like a fish and chicken place across the street, but I was a little iffy. I was like, I don't know. Like, getting fish on the road can be dicey. You never know about these places. Calvin Leak says, that's why the cook quit. It's hot as hell in the kitchen. I could only imagine how hot it must have been back there, because, it was ridiculous. I went in, took a shower. I was actually surprised. The showers weren't bad for me. That Love's is pretty rough. That used to be, saying it was so hot in there. But yeah, I went in. I took a shower at the Love's. It was not bad, considering that used to be a Flying J there. That Love's in Gary. But it was pretty nice. It was okay. Took a shower, came out, and I went over to Denny's, and I was just like, I can't stand it in here. I got to get out of here. And I asked the girl in there, I was like, why is it so hot in here? And she was like, I don't know. We got the air on. And I was like, shit, need to get that worked on. Wild Bill Anderson says, maybe the cook was also the manager or owner. Yeah, I would say maybe he quit because he got a security guard job over there. That's got to be a pie job, being the security guard at that Love's. That guy, I went into that Love's twice last night, and both times I went in there, that security guard that they have that works at that Love's, pause it on you guys in. On my other phone here, it looks like it's at a dead stop. So I don't know. It's been a real pain. But yeah, that security guard, I went into that Love's twice. Both times he was on the phone, like just you know when you're on the phone and you're just mindlessly wandering around, like if you get on the phone, like you're just outside walking around, you'll end up walking like a half mile to nowhere just because you're not paying attention, you're on the phone. That's what he was doing. He was just mindlessly wandering around, touching everything. And I was like, man, dude didn't have on a mask or anything. And I was like, well, it's his choice, but I figured being an employee there, they would have to wear a mask. But yeah, he was just going around touching everything. Alexandra is here. Thanks for coming in. It says, I have the opposite problem. I keep my truck so cold that I often wake up in the middle of the night and need to turn the AC off. Oh my God, I did that last night, man. I got up and it was hot in here. It was just humid, Last night when I went to bed in Gary, it was 86 degrees and it felt like it was 102 degrees because it was like 80% humidity. So I got up and cranked the truck up, turned the AC on full blast, and yeah, I woke up about 2 o'clock this morning, like froze. Paul Harris says, just outside Boston was DDU, Dunkin' Donuts University. Yeah, Exactly. I'm trying to think of what. Oh, it's Dairy Queen in Minneapolis. They have Dairy Queen University. Um, you can come there and learn to be a Dairy Queen. But it's basically what it is. What that Dairy Queen one's for is for the franchise guys, the people that are opening franchises. They come there and they learn. Basically, it's like a 4 or 5 story building. It's a huge complex. It's like a regional call center slash franchise training center slash whatever. But one of the guys, I Ubered a guy over there one time, and it was like his third day, doing the training. They do like 2 weeks of training there, and he was telling me that like basically they have a Dairy Queen inside there, and it's like all make believe. They got like people that come in and pretend to be Dairy Queen employees, and like they watch him like manage them, and I'm like, that's got to be a weird place in there, a make believe Dairy Queen. But yeah, that's what they do there. They just train the people there at the Dairy Queen. So the title of it was of the live here is, does your truck have a name? And it's 28 minutes. So maybe I should 28 minutes in. Maybe I should bring that up. I finally named this truck. I like to name all my trucks, and I typically name them. They're all women's names. And I name them like not like cinnamon, or not like stripper names, like just regular girl names. Like this one, I'm gonna call this truck Betty. This truck's called Betty. It's a white truck, so it's Betty White. In the past, I've had my International 9400i was named, her name was Gertrude. I called her Dirty Gertie, and because I never washed that truck, and I ran to Canada with it all the time, so it was like, it had a nice thick layer buildup of salt and sand, and that's probably why the engine harness rotted off of it, and I had to have it replaced. So probably brought that on myself. I wash them maybe like once a month now. Being in Minnesota, typically what I do is anytime I'm coming home through Wisconsin, I stop there. I think it's around Tomah, Wisconsin. There's a little mom and pop truck wash there I like to use. And let's see, what else have I had in the past? The T600 I had. That was what was the name of that truck? I think that was Dorothy. I named that truck Dorothy. And then let's see, the 579 that I had, the longer one I had before, not this last one that I had for a couple months, but the 579 I had before, I named it Rosie. That was that truck's name. And yeah, I mean, I've tried to name them, but like my last white Freightliner was what was the name of that? Damn, I had it right on. Oh yeah, Patty. That one was Patty because and it's odd, it's funny that I named it Patty because it kept breaking down and it kept being a pain in my butt. So eventually it got to be called Cow Patty, because it was a big pile of steaming crap. You see here, Alexandra. Oh, I missed one here. Mark from Trucking Answer says Betty is a stripper name for the 1 p.m. Wednesday crowd. Yeah, daytime strippers, let me tell you. The first thing you should say when you walk into any strip club during the day, if it's not dark out, if you walk into a strip club during the daylight hours, the first thing you should say, and you should say it pretty loud, is, "Can I see some C-section scars?" That's what you should say. Alexandra says, "I call my truck Midwest Opie." Okay, Midwest Opie. What kind of truck is Midwest Opie? DIY Semi says, dang, you're a live streaming maniac, son. Yes, 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 yes. I'll probably be doing a few more lives for the next week or two. I want to get on a schedule. Like Mark at Trucking Answers he's got the Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern locked up. I think it would be futile to have another live stream during that time. But I would like to find a time where I get a good crowd and, it's like convenient for people to get there. So I've been trying out a few extra times. Probably the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be doing whenever I get a chance, I'll pop in, do, half hour to an hour just to test the time slot, because I'd like to get it where it's same bat time, same bat channel, just to make it where people know, you can set your watch by it. DB215. Yeah, that's what I used to call those trucks. Let's see. So yeah, if you guys got names for your trucks, let me know. And DB215, would you name a day cab? Because I know you run day cabs over there, right? I've seen a few loves where the fuel trucks are sleeper trucks. I don't know if they just did that like a replacement truck, or if that's like a, like the day cabs broke down, or if they actually run sleeper trucks for the fuel. Because I know Love's does like dry van. They deliver their own like merchandise to the store sometimes. I think it's tires mostly that they're doing, like stuff for the shop. But I don't know. I've seen them delivering all kind of stuff. With those, normally it's like a Freightliner or a T680, and they'll have like a dry van. I see those guys around here and there. So, yeah. Love's is an interesting place. I was getting, what was I getting? Oh yeah, I was getting an oil change done at Speedco the other day. And they had this like book. I mean, this joker was like this thick. Big book too, like big, lots of pictures, but it was the history of Love's, like how it all got started and everything. Really interesting. I read through some of it, but I got out of there pretty fast. But yeah, some of those old pictures were pretty cool. Market Trucking Answers says, you know what is futile? Resistance. Yeah. Speaking of that, has everybody got their mask on in here? Don't forget to wear your mask in my lives. I require a mask. By mandate of the governor. I tell the governor I don't want to go on a mandate with him. Not that I have anything against gay people, but I'm not gay. I'm not going on a mandate with the governor. Of course, I guess the Michigan governor is a lady, but I still don't want to go on a mandate with her either. So, yeah. I was in Texas the other day, and they got a sign on all the doors at Love's, masks are mandatory per the governor. And you look and watch, like the truckers that come in from that side of the building, maybe 1 in 10 has on a mask. Now everybody coming in the front side, I seen people, like I think I was in where was that? It was Texas. I was eating there, and I was sitting in the Subway or whatever the heck restaurant they had eating, and I was looking out the window, and there would be people like come up from their car. They would walk up to the door, see the sign, go back to their car, get a mask. And I'm like, you won't ever see that on the trucker side, man. They just power right through it. Alexandra has a 2019 International LTA X15 Cummins and a 10-speed. All right, that's a pretty nice truck. I like those LTs. I don't know. I liked ProStars. I test drove a ProStar. It had to be the quietest truck. It had an ISX Cummins in it years ago. And, man, it had to be the quietest truck I was ever in. I kept having to look down at the tack just to see if the truck was still running. Like, it was that quiet going down the road. So, yeah. Seemed like the build quality was pretty good on them as far as, like, driver comforts. And the X15, how are you digging that X15? Um, DB DB215 says some guys stay out. Okay, yeah, I didn't know if like they were hauling the fuel from farther away, like didn't have a depot or whatever to pick up the fuel at. So I thought maybe they're having to go like a little farther out to get it and bring it back, and in case they get stranded out, they got a sleeper truck or something like that. Because I believe that was in Oklahoma or Texas, and I was like, well, they ought to have a gas and a diesel depot every 15 miles out there. So Trucking Answers got on his mask. All right, he's masked up. Homeless are human too, the podcast show. Cash Machine Trucking, how are you? I am doing great. How are you today? Thanks for coming in. Hit that like button for me if you could. That kind of pushes the live stream out to more and more people. Homeless are human too, the podcast show. Love your channel. You're informative. You know what you're talking about. Yeah, I appreciate that. I try. We're trying to help some people out, and like yesterday, talking about the Hirschbach doing the got the lease purchase on salary over there now. You can get $1,250. But yeah, we're I appreciate you complimenting the channel there. I try, and yeah, it's tough to get. I don't know. Trucking is such a difficult industry. I hate seeing people get ripped off. That's why I always tell people, like, when you first get into trucking, like, Trucking Answers has a lot of knowledge that, can help you avoid a lot of bad decisions, I think. Man, I wish I had that when I first got started. I went to trucking school with Pam Transport, sent me to trucking school, got me there. About a week into it, they call me and say, hey, we can't verify your last employer. And I'm like, well, my last employer was Carrier Air Conditioners. I worked at a manufacturing plant for Carrier Air Conditioners, and they moved the plant to Mexico. So, I was like, you can call the Better Business Bureau in the town I live in, and they can explain this to you. And Pam Transport was having none of it. They was like, no, we're not going to hire you. And yeah, it was a mess. So USA Truck was like, yeah, we don't care. You can come work at USA Truck. So I was like, all right, I'm going to USA Truck. But, stuff like that, like getting you out there. I went to Arkansas to truck driving school. I get out there, and a week into the school, they're like, yeah, we're not going to hire you. We actually looked into you now that we got you, on the hook. And like, so yeah, if you can avoid some pitfalls, like the lady that left the comment on my channel the other day about working for Hirschbach as a salary position. They're doing lease purchase salary over there now for $1,250 a week. Yeah, for $1,250 a week, you can be a Hirschbach lease purchase driver. Sounds like a win to me. $1,250 on a 1099, and I'm being very sarcastic when I say that. That's about $800 after you pay all the taxes on that. So yeah, you can be gone all week for $800. And boy, doesn't that sound like fun? And no benefits. So I guess they'll have another Learjet by the end of the year if they keep people keep signing up for that. So yeah, thanks for coming in, Homeless Are Human podcast show. Everybody check them out. And Alexandra says, I got decent working power, but can tell that the company I drive for has turned the engine down a bit. Okay, yeah. I don't know. My truck this truck I have now is rated at, it's only rated at 425. And it has plenty of power, I think. Now, that's what it says it's rated for. It may have been turned up. I didn't have Freightliner hooked to it, to be honest. Let me click this truck on for a minute. Sorry about the beeping. Fire up this thing. It's getting warm in here. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's. I really like the 12 speeds in these Detroits though, because I feel like it's always in the right gear. So that seems to really help. Um, Homeless or Human 2 podcast. I know I was in the stream. All right, I appreciate that. Also, this Homeless or Human 2 podcast show says, you're the people that make this nation run, because if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be here. Yeah, that's true. Truckers, like, you can't buy anything in the store. You just can't. That hasn't been brought by a truck at some point. Um, it's just the way it is. I heard a guy the other day complaining in a truck stop about a reefer trailer being parked next to him, and he was complaining about me. We were in line at Chester's Chickens or something, and he was complaining to another guy about a reefer. He was like, "Yeah, doggone reefer truck parked next to me," and I was like, "Yeah, those doggone reefer trucks, because I hate fresh food. Don't you guys? Hate having milk and eggs and produce." I'm like, "You're a truck driver, like." And the funny thing was, he complained about the reefer unit, and he idled his truck all night long. I'm like, how you gonna complain about a reefer unit when you sit there all night with your truck idling? It's like it's the same thing. It's ambient noise. I don't know. I'm so used to the reefer, I don't even notice it's on half the time. Um, I heard a great story in. I love trucker stories, by the way. I don't know if y'all know that. Like, I love like outlandish trucker stories. I heard a guy in two guys talking in McDonald's the other morning, and these two guys were mint. All right, I think we're back. Yeah, back to trucker stories. Anyway, I love a good trucker story. The more outlandish, the better. So, these two guys, they were meant for each other. They start talking, and one guy's this, that, and the other, and um, they get to talking about cars they've owned. And this one guy says he owned a like 85 Buick with a NASCAR motor. And the guy's telling him, yeah, I outran the police in it one time. I was doing 170 miles an hour down the freeway, and the police didn't even know it, but he had a whole nother gear. Yeah, he wasn't even in top gear doing 170 mile an hour in a Buick. So yeah, I love trucker stories. Let's see, back to the chat here. DIY Semi's in here. Everybody go subscribe to DIY Semi for me, please. He's cranking out videos, and he is so close to being monetized, it's crazy. And I know how it is when you're in that zone. Like, when you're in that, like, 800 to 900 zone, it's like, I don't know. It's just, like, right there. It's right there. But DIY Semi says, no, you have it wrong. You pay them $12.50 a week to work there. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make more sense for Hirschbach. Man, they have got some Defenders over there. Like, I made a video, like, talking trash about Hirschbach, and I mean, like, everybody and their mama that works over there, which is probably one guy that works in the office with about 15 Google accounts, goes around defending the honor of Hirschbach. And, yeah, boy, they come out of the woodwork. They'd all had 20 years or 30 years of experience, working over there at Hirschbach, got 20, 30 years of experience. So, yeah, Paul Harris says salary. That would make them an employee, yes or no? I'm not very good on the laws of 1099 versus employees. I know this. I used to own a landscaping management company. And when I first started that, I used to hire people. This is when I was small, just like needed some help on the weekends, or, maybe a little, like, the peak of grass cut season, maybe hire people for like a month. I used to hire people, and I would employ them on 1099, and they were using my equipment. I told them when they had to work, they were employees. So I employed them on 1099. I got a little bigger. I was like, I don't want to be doing things illegal, so I got to do it right. So instead of setting all that up, I hired some people from a temp company to come in. That's expensive, hiring temporary workers from a temp company, because basically you're paying all the things you would be paying to an employee, plus you're paying the VIG to the temp company. So eventually I just, I sat down, I figured it all out. I paid people as a W-2. It is way more expensive for a company to pay W-2 than 1099. Let me tell you, when you're matching FICA, when you're matching, federal taxes, state taxes, when you're matching all that, and if you pay overtime, it's ridiculous. It was like a guy that was paying, if I was paying a guy 13, say $13 an hour, by the time I got everything paid in on him, it was closer to $20 an hour. So yeah, 1099 was much better, because I would be like, hey, I'll pay you $15 as a 1099, or $13 as a W-2, which I never did anybody like that, but that's why these trucking companies do that. Let's see here. But yeah, I'm thinking salary like that, like $12.50 a week. I don't know. I guess they could just be like, hey, they're a subcontractor, and we're paying them like for a week's worth of work. But I don't know. It seems iffy to me. It kind of almost seems like, yeah, if you're a salary, you would be an employee. But I'm sure a place like Hirschbach has probably got their team of lawyers on that. So they probably know how to make that work. Homeless or Human 2 podcast show, $800 a week for 54 is $43,200. Yeah. To be gone all the time, and yeah. And one thing I don't think people value about trucking and why it needs to pay more is because how many jobs do you know where you can go into your job, you can do your job, but you can also be sued if you make a mistake at your job? I know there's other jobs where you do that. If you make an honest mistake, you can still be held liable. But trucking is, it's a risky job as far as if I work down at the bread factory, and I'm baking bread all day, if I make an honest mistake and I burn some bread, we throw it out. But in trucking, I don't know, it's you catch it, you time a red light wrong, and you go through it, right as it's yellow, red, and someone's on the other side, waiting to make that, I call it the Ohio left. They're pulled all the way out in the intersection trying to make a left. They try to jump it, you're running, you're going a little late through it, and you hit them. It's like, no matter whose fault it is, you're in trouble. So I don't know. That's why I think trucking should pay more. You're gone from home all the time, and it's a risky job. That's just my opinion on it. Paul Harris says, USA Truck didn't like a medication I was prescribed my doctor was using for another reason than its intended use. Kind of like the COVID stuff doctors using now. Then they get shut down in Facebook. Yeah, I don't know, man. USA Truck, I used to tell people, if you've got a pulse and you can pass a drug test, you can get hired on at USA Truck. So yeah, that's I guess that drug showed up on a P test, or I guess you would have to disclose that if it was going to show up on a P test. Homeless or Human 2, Paul, yes. Paul Harris, ending up with Covenant Transport for 6 years. So you're still at Covenant right now. Been there for 6 years. I know a guy that ran for Covenant for a while, and a lot of people talk trash about Covenant, and because they're a mega carrier and they train a lot of people. But he was a trainer there, but he had a dedicated run and he liked it, and I always tell people, get in where you fit in, don't worry about what other people think. most of the stuff I put out, I just try to put out information for people that, know something about a place before they go work there. And because there are so many people in this industry, you get that CDL and it's like a license to fly from one job to the next. Like, you got that CDL, time to hop, and it's easy. And there's signing bonuses that entice you and all that. But, I think you do better if you're going to be a company driver. Get a good one and, make sure they take care of you and do what you got to do. Because the guy I know that for Covenant, he ran there for a long time. I think he did some sort of, he was going from like, I think it was like East Tennessee down to Florida and back. And he was training, so I guess they were running the trainers like a team there or something like that, maybe. But he was making pretty good money to be, at a trainee company. Paul Harris says a Buick with a 10-speed. Yeah, that guy said he was doing 170 mile an hour in a Buick and like a 85 Buick or something. I forgot what it was, but yeah, he was doing 175 with a NASCAR motor in a Buick, and I'm just like, I used to have an 80s model Cutlass, like an early 80s Cutlass, and the build quality on that thing was not the greatest. I don't care if it was brand new off the show floor, I wouldn't have been doing 175 in that car. Let's see. Truckinator says, IC isn't about pay, it's about control. Who decides your day? Who provides the tools? Can you suffer a monetary loss? Yeah, see, and that makes me, that monetary loss, that's what I was thinking of with the Hirschbach thing. If they're cutting you a salary every week for $12.50, and I'm sure, they do it like all the other mega carriers do. They got a shell company that they run their lease purchase through. What is it? I went through Western Express, and theirs is called like Horizon Leasing. It's owned by Western Express, but to keep from getting sued, they do it under a different name. They start a different LLC, do it that way. So, I'm sure like their Hirschbach's lawyers can argue, well, that's not Hirschbach's truck, so they're leasing the truck, so it's their tools. Trucking, the customer decides when you work. The DOT and the customer decide when you work, as far as when you're working. Now, I do wonder about that salary. If like you have to be on duty for like all 7 days, or you have to be available, because the time part of being an independent contractor is tricky to me because, when the customer wants the work done, that's who decides more when you work. But I get what you're saying about, if you want to take a week off, can you take a week off? That does make me wonder because, and see, so I'm sure Hirschbach has got the lawyering done correctly on it, where they can say, okay, that's not our truck. We don't have to deal with that. And, but the monetary loss is the thing to me, because if they're doing a salary of $12.50 a week, you can't suffer a loss if it's a salary, right? I mean, it's just the way it is. Wild Bill Anderson says, when I did 1099, I had other benefits from the boss that was a friend. Yeah, I mean, like, there are some instances where 1099 is better. And, when I was paying my employees 1099, excuse me. When I was paying my employees 1099, as far as like benefits and things like that, we didn't offer in benefits anyway, so they weren't losing out on benefits. And Trucking Answer says, Wild Bill, other benefits. Oh yeah. This is family friendly show, so I don't know if Wild Bill can talk about those benefits. Wild Bill, he bought me a car and motorcycle, and I just made payments. Okay, so he was like financing stuff for you, because, and see, that is true with being a 1099. Like, it's harder to get financing on stuff. So, Yeah. Wild Bill says, I hate my current company I'm employed at. I need a change big time. Yeah, Wild Bill, gotta make the jump if you hate it, you know. You don't want to work somewhere you hate. Now, I mean, if you slightly dislike, I think that's everybody, but you know, there's probably like 2% of people love their job, probably 98% or 95% they tolerate it, and then the other 3% probably hate it. And don't add that up on those percentages because it probably doesn't equal 100%. Par Harris says, left Covenant when they lost the solo gig I was on. They said I had to come back to Chattanooga to team drive. Hell no. Got the taste for a solo. Yeah, I'm not about teaming. I don't know. Unless it's your wife, it's when that grace period wears off, you know, you're going to get comfortable, and then things are going to start, you're going to start resenting some of the things they're doing. And I mean, it's tough, man. Salute to those people that can team for a long time with someone. DIY Semi says, anyone who signs up for a deal like that deserves what they get. It's voluntary. Nobody forced them to do it. Yes. And that's kind of my point on a lot of, me ragging on Hirschbach. I always tell people, if you like it there, I love the saying, get in where you fit in. If you like it there, you're happy there, by all means, rock it. But before you go in there, you need to know, who they are. They're not there for your success. There's probably 5 people that really benefit from that company's success, and everybody else is, SOL. It's like a Ponzi scheme, It's like a few at the top are killing it, and everybody else is getting killed. Trucking Answer said, COVID sneeze. Yeah, I need to put on my mask, man. In here with all you people, and, DIY Sima says, it's all spelled out in the contract. Yes. And let me tell you, when I was sitting at Western Express and reading that contract, oh man, was my stomach like sinking. I was like, oh my God, like this is so bad, like I was like, what have I done? What have I done? Says, DIY says that they don't bother to read. Yeah. When I got the contract, I flipped the contract over and used the back of it as a blank piece of paper and started running a few numbers, and it wasn't the make-believe numbers they sent you in the email and tell you, oh, you're going to get 2,700 to 3,000 miles every week, and they're going to be easy miles, and we got light loads. And then you go into their dispatch room and you see the TVs that show like their weekly averages of their dispatch numbers. And the flatbed division was averaging like 1,300 miles a week. And I started doing the numbers at 1,300 miles a week, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Like, that's just enough to cover their part of it. I don't make any money at 1,300 a week. I need that extra 1,300 to 1,400 miles after that to actually turn a profit. That's where the profit is. And those are make-believe miles. Those are leprechaun miles. So yeah, they don't bother to read. Exactly. To me, any kind of mileage based lease purchase is, I just think of it like just go be a company driver, because to me, being an entrepreneur, it's all about the upside. You don't want to cap the upside, because the downside is capped at 0. You can lose everything, but the upside is forever. So when you're a mileage-based lease purchase guy, the problem with that is your upside is capped. You don't get no great loads. Everything is just it is what it is. Like, I got a load of produce on here right now. I'll do a video about it when I get it done, but the loaded miles on this is over $7 a mile loaded. Now, I had a little bit of a deadhead to go get it, and it's not a long load. It is a short load. But still, you know, like, that's what you want. That's what you need in business. Is Everload's not going to be like that, but you need some of those wins like that along the way. Like I had 3 load options. I had one that is a direct customer for the company I'm leased to out of Chicago, straight back to Minneapolis. Every Monday they do that run, and I knew I could get that run tomorrow. I already told them like a week in advance. I was like, I want that Monday load back to Minneapolis, just in, you know, as a fail safe. So then when I got my load, the meat load I took from Amarillo to Chicago, I was saying, well, okay, I'm going to deliver that Monday morning in Chicago, so I don't necessarily want to wait till Monday, do a 34-hour reset, and then go to the house to do another reset, you know, take time off at the house. So I was like looking for loads for Sunday or Saturday afternoon. Well, I found a Saturday afternoon load back to Oklahoma. Not a bad load, paid like $2.20 a mile, something like that. I'd have to do the math on it. It was like, they were at $2,200 for 900 miles. We were trying to get them up to $2,500 for the 900 miles. But we gave up on it because I had dispatch looking for a load while I was driving, and they called me with this load. And they were like, hey, do you want to do, you know, a short load that picks up Sunday, delivers Monday morning, you know, for 1 day revenue? I was like, yeah, because that's really no, you know, it's no miles on the truck. That's the key to it. So yeah, I mean, it's all in the contract, but to me, those mileage-based lease purchases, man, the upside is capped so bad. Like, you know, not every load out here is great, and there are some loads I pull that pay like a you know, mileage-based lease purchase. But the fact of the matter is, it can be a lot better. You know, that's like the base is like those rates. And if it's worse than a mileage-based lease purchase would pay, oh man, it froze up on me. All right, I think we're back. I was making a funny face. I was looking at the other phone over here where it froze. That's a funny face. But yeah, you're so capped. The upside is when you're in those. Young Trucker 215. Hey, thanks for coming in, Young Trucker 215. I appreciate everybody coming in, by the way. I don't know if I've said that. Really do. Amen. Speaking facts as always, brother. Yeah, we're trying to you know, have the real conversation about trucking here. There's I'm too old to sugarfoot it, you know, as they say. Sugarcoat it. Why did I say sugarfoot it? That makes no sense. So yeah, Kangaroo Trucker is in the house. What's up, Kangaroo Trucker? Says, sup, boys and girls. Not much. We're just talking about naming trucks. Funny, your truck has a name now. That's cool. Just watched the video on that. If anybody hasn't subscribed to Kangaroo Trucker, go check out Kangaroo Trucker. He is over there at ATS. That's, what does ATS stand for? That's Anderson Truck Service, right? I know they're right. They're not far from my house up there. I live up in Maple Grove area. So, yeah, they're not too far away in St. Cloud. It's probably about a 45-minute drive from ATS in St. Cloud. He has got a white Volvo, Mr. Kangaroo Trucker does, and he named it Casper. Casper the Friendly Truck. I was telling everybody this truck I have, I just, you know, I like to be in them for a little while to kind of get a grip, you know, what they're going to be like. But I think I'm going to call this truck Betty. Betty White is going to be this truck's name. And I was telling everybody my last truck, well, I didn't name the last 579. I only had it for like 3 or 4 months. I didn't even really give it, I think I was calling it, my first 579 I was calling Rosie, and I think the last one I called Roseanne a couple times. But the last Freightliner I had was called Patty. We called her Cow Patty after she broke down like 50 times in 1 year. So yeah, naming trucks. If anybody's got a good name for their truck, let me know. Alexandra was named Midwest Opie, and Kangaroo Trucker, his is named Casper, and mine is named Betty White. Kangaroo Trucker says, yes, LOL, my old truck name was on its last day. Yeah, the Little Red Deer Killer. How big was that deer you hit? Because it did a number on that truck. You know, like when they total out a truck because you hit a deer. Of course, I don't know. Maybe that's just all vehicles these days because, you know, everything is so plastic and so, you know, like the metal on them is like paper thin. You know, like I don't even know why they use metal anymore on some of this. It's like that metal is so thin. It's like recycled, you know, lawn furniture or something. It's so thin. It's definitely not good steel, you know. Let's see here, the Little Red Deer Killer. Yeah, that was a rough hit right there. Did anybody see the video? I think I seen it a couple weeks ago. I think Calvin Leaks posted it. I think he's in. I don't know if he's in here. I don't know if I've seen Calvin this morning. Normally he's in the live. But he posted a video of a pickup truck pulling an RV down the road, and the deer jumps like in between the bed of the truck and hits the front of the RV, and it like collapses the front of the RV, and the deer like hops away and runs off. I thought it was hilarious, you know, because I'm not a big fan of all the RVs on the road. If you want to go RVing, that's fine, but you know, I hate like the beginning of summer when all the RVs hit the road. You know, you got all the, you know, all the grandma and grandpas getting out, you know, for the first time, and you know they haven't checked the tires. They're going 40 mile an hour. You know, it just leads to a bunch of hassle for truckers. DIY Semi says mine is Big Orange. What year is your Cascadia, DIY Semi? I was watching the air conditioning video this morning. Man, my last Freightliner, I had tons and tons of AC problems with that thing. Of course, like I said, it was named Patty, and we ended up calling it Cow Patty by the time we sold it because it was a steaming pile. And everybody check out DIY Semi too. It's a good channel. Oh, let's see here. Kangaroo Trucker, 5-point buck, big. Yeah, that's, like I said, he did a number. He did a number on that truck. You know, when I first saw the pictures of it, I was like, why are they totaling that truck? You know, but then you think, like, say the truck, I mean, I don't know what year it was, how many miles it had on it, but, you know, ATS seems to keep pretty new equipment. So, you know, let's say the truck had, like, a trade-in value of like 60 grand, you know. Well, by the time you rebuild that front end, you know, you're probably, by the time you do body work and everything, parts, labor, you're probably 25 grand in on that, versus, you know, you could probably just sell it for scrap, and you know, it would probably bring 20,000 at the auction. So it's like, I get where they're coming from, but you know, when I first saw it, it didn't look that bad from the outside. But then, you know, something like that, man, probably just destroys, you know, because you think of all, you know, everything up front. You know, you got suspension is expensive to work on, radiator, AC, what else you got? Your cold air cooler, or your whatever they call it, charge air cooler. Sorry, I couldn't think of it. Got your charge air cooler, and those things ain't cheap. Yeah, I mean, it starts adding up real quick when you hit something like that. So yeah, 5-point buck and a big one. I thought about one time putting a hay spear on the front of my truck, like a shish kebab. That way when I hit a deer, like a hay spear, on the front of a tractor. Instead of putting a deer guard on there, I thought about just like welding one of those to the front of the truck. Make some brackets that go in the toe bars, where the tow bars go. Just make me a bracket and then weld a hay spear on there, a big point going forward. Not only would it look intimidating, but, if you hit a deer, it would just shish kebab it. You know what I mean? Like, that thing would be prepared. It would be ready to be skinned and butchered, just hanging right there. So, I don't know. Just a thought. 5-point buck and a big one. Man, it's like, you almost wish you could have some deer jerky out of that, right? Some deer sausage. I told Scottish trucker Tommy, he's got a truck that's I think he's hit 3 deer in a year with that truck, maybe 2, but if I'm not mistaken, he's hit 3 deer with that truck, and in a year. I told him I would put a PTO on that truck and put a meat grinder on it, and I'd start making deer sausage, because when you're hitting them like that, man, that's a lot of free food you could be getting. Kangaroo Trucker says, I like the name Betty White. Yeah, that's, I was going to name her Bessie, but then I got to think, I don't really like Bessie. That doesn't have the, I don't know, maybe later I'll name a truck Bessie, but I wanted Betty. And then I was like, yeah, it's White. I'll name it Betty White. DIY Semi says he has a 2012 Columbia. Okay. I had a 2013, and it came out of a fleet called Wise Way. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Wise Way. They're up in Wisconsin. Boy, they put no options on that truck. It was a very basic truck. And I don't know if they didn't take care of it or what, but I guess the head blew on it, and they traded it in with a blown head. And then the place I bought it from had the head replaced, but I don't think they put new, I almost think they didn't put new gaskets in the EGR when they put the EGR back on, because I think I was sucking air through the EGR into the coolant system. Or I don't know if the head gasket wasn't done right. Somehow that thing was overcharging the coolant system. It wasn't overheating, but it was blowing coolant lines like you would not believe. And I poked a hole in the top. I took a paper clip. I MacGyvered the heck out of it. I took a paper clip and lit it up with a lighter, and I poked a hole in the top of the radiator cap with the hot. I took the paper clip and bent it out, like that, and took a lighter and got it red hot, and then I poked a little hole in the radiator cap. So I called it my Detroit tea kettle, because it would steam. The extra pressure would steam out of that little hole. And yeah, that truck never was right. So just so you know, that's one trick you can do. I'm just showing my brilliance here. I got the truck running. I don't even have the AC button pushed in. I'm like, man, it is not getting cool in here. Kangaroo Trucker says 22,000 in damages. It had 450,000 miles on a 2018, so it was time to flip it, I guess. Yeah. What does ATS run those trucks to? Like probably about $500,000 or something. And that truck must have been a team truck or something. Man, that is a lot of miles for 2018, 450. But yeah, that was getting about time. So a 2018 Volvo with that kind of miles on it, yeah, it was probably trade-in value was probably like 60, somewhere in there. So yeah, if it had 22,000 in damages, it's like, do you put $22,000 into a $60,000 truck? No, not when you've got money, like ATS to flip them, because I would imagine ATS buying in bulk, they're not paying the 140,000, for a new truck like I would be if I went to the Volvo dealership. I went and looked at a brand new Volvo. The guy who owns the company I'm leased to, he has connections at the Volvo dealership, and he told me, he was like, yeah, he's like, I've helped guys that's been here, for years. I go up and I'll sign for them to get a new truck. Like it's their truck, and they're financing it, but he co-signs, I guess to help them get financing for a brand new truck. And but he was saying, like, yeah, you put about 20 grand down, you end up financing about 120,000 after the taxes and everything. You end up financing about 125,000, and it's like 3,200 a month for 5 years, I think, something like that. I mean, I'm like, whoa, 20 grand down and 3,200 a month for 5 years. I'm like, I ain't marrying it, I'm driving it. So yeah, whew. But I'm sure ATS, man, they're big enough. They're getting discounts. I'll bet you on that. They're probably ordering those trucks and getting a heck of a discount. Eric says deer kebab. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, man. Like, you mount that hay spear on there and bam, you hit a deer. You ain't even mad about it. You're just like, well, got another one. Let's see here. Wild Bill says, I always believe in the deer whistle. Only most people install them incorrectly. Yeah, deer whistles are, I don't know, because I feel like if everybody has them, deer just get used to them. But I had them on my T600 because I used to run a lot of nights, and when I would go by deer, you would definitely see their head pop up, like they, of course that truck had sequential turbos on it, and it run about 40 to 50 pounds of boost. So maybe it was the turbo whistle that had them, cowering. But yeah, I've had deer whistles on most of my trucks. I do not have them on this truck. So yeah, I'm the way I look at it is, what's a set of deer whistles cost? Like $5. It's a cheap insurance policy. I don't know. If it works, hey, it works, and if it don't, it was $5 for a chance. Because I guarantee you, if that $5 saves you $22,000 in repairs, like Kangaroo Trucker's truck needed, then yeah, money well spent, right? Kangaroo Trucker said, Wild Bill, I wish I did have a deer whistle then. Yeah, I used to, last time I bought deer whistles, I put one on the truck and I put one on my personal car. The one on the car I put down like at the bottom of the bumper. And, as you know, in Minneapolis, we get a little snow, and yeah, it was gone about 3 days after I put it on there. I didn't think that through. It was like nice sunny day, and then we get like 6 inches of snow, and I'm doing 60 mile an hour through the snow, and I get to notice it, and I'm like, hey, that deer whistle's gone. So wasn't a surprise, to be honest with you, but yeah, I don't know. I may run in this Love's right now and buy me some deer whistles. Like I said, what's $5, for possibly saving your truck, like, I got a 2016 Cascadia, and yeah, I mean, probably the first, other than the frame, until you get to the engine, that's all like just susceptible to damage. Like, I don't even want to think about what pricing a hood for a Cascadia would cost. Hood and mirrors and grill, bumpers. I mean, Yeah, it adds up real quick. Because I know I got in a hailstorm with my last Freightliner, and it busted the hood mirrors up, and I had to buy just the hood mirrors, and I bought like generic ones off eBay, and they were like $150, and that's just the mirrors, so you can imagine, and that wasn't the chrome, plated ones or whatever. Me. Uh, when you show up at the shipper, they don't say, "Oh well, if you had more chrome, I would pay you better." So now don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on guys with chrome. I would love to have a chromed out truck, but I got kids. I got kids. I would have a tough time living with myself with $10,000 worth of chrome on this truck, and um, knowing that my kids needed anything. It just wouldn't. I wouldn't sleep well at night. But I don't know. Maybe it'd get me more views on YouTube because uh, people love chrome. Let's see. Wild Bill says, "Kangaroo Trucker, I hear that. Yeah, y'all have talked me into it. I'm going in here to get deer whistles. I'm sold." Wild Bill says, "You need to install the deer whistle higher up." Okay. Is that so it gets more wind, or is that so it gets like it can be heard farther? Because on my Kenworth, I actually, the T600 has the old square headlights, that like every truck had back in the day, before these truck dealers all got to the point to where they were like, we got to have a specific headlight, so it's like a dealer only part. You remember when you used to go in the truck and get the old, you used to get the old square headlights? But anyway, the T600 had those, and they were set back in there. And I put the deer whistle in front of, or like in between those two square lights. I put it like right in between, on the little flat spot in front of the headlight. So I'm sure that impeded some of the air that was going through it, because it was right in front of that headlight. But I don't know. Like I said, every time I would go, I used to go like through Mississippi a lot, and man, there was always like a ton of deer on the side of the road right there in Mississippi, and they would always perk their head up whenever I would go by. So I don't know, I felt like it was working. So yeah, Wild Bill Anderson says for more wind. Okay, yeah, I'm thinking about where I would put them on my Freightliner. I don't know. I got to think about this. Maybe out there near the handle of the hood, something like that, maybe. Because quite a bit of air comes over the front of that hood, I'm sure. Or maybe out here on a mirror. I wonder if that would work. Mounted on like the mirror mount or something. I don't know. Got me thinking now. Hey, I got a question for everybody while I'm thinking of it. Has anybody seen on the new Cascadias? They've got like on the A-pillar, between the A-pillar, between the windshield and the door. They've got these little deflector things on them and I'm assuming that's to help deflect the wind. Like Volvo has like this piece that comes out and goes down beside the A-pillar, and that's like to deflect the wind coming around the windshield. So when you turn on your windshield wipers, it doesn't just murder your mirrors, because these curved windshields in these Freightliners, like as soon as I turn on my windshield, they pretty much, I can't see anything out of my mirrors as far as like precise. I can still see out of the mirrors, like I can see cars, but like when I'm backing in somewhere, like if it's a precise line I'm trying to be on, my mirrors are all covered from road grime and whatever. So yeah, if anybody knows what I'm talking about, let me know. I don't know what they're called, and I don't see them on all the new Cascadias, but I did see a CR England the other day that had them, and I was like, do you buy those aftermarket, or could I get those from the dealership? So if anybody knows what I'm talking about, let me know what they're called, because I've tried to Google it a million different ways, like, wind deflectors, window screens, window, like I mean, I've tried it 100 different ways. And the only thing it comes up with is like those plastic or chrome, that go across the top of the window, so you can crack your window and smoke your cigarette when it's raining. That's the only kinds that come up. I can't get the ones that they look like they're glued to the A pillar. And I think that's called the A pillar. Now that I think about it, I don't know. But yeah, they're like in between the windshield and the door, right there by the window. There's like a plastic deflector. And the one I seen on CR England was like a flat piece of plastic with like little pieces of plastic glue or like, molded into it. Coming out. I don't know, hard to explain. There was like 5 or 6, little deflectors coming out. And I'm sure that's to push the wind around. So, in the rain around. So I don't know. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, or if you know what they're called, let me know, because that would be handy. Let's get back to chat here. Let's see what everybody's saying. Okay. Wild Bill Anderson says, ooh, the mirror mount might work good. Yeah, I'm thinking there's a lot of air that goes between that mirror, out there. If nothing else, I may mount it like on the door, like sideways. Mount it like beside the mirror mount going out sideways. Because there's a ton of air that comes across that door right there. Trucker Wild is here. Trucker Wild, sup from Missouri, or as I like to call it, Misery. What's going on out in Missouri today, Trucker Wild? Everybody go check out Trucker Wild. He's got a YouTube channel. Go check out what he's up to these days. I like following all these truckers. I don't know. It's like everybody's got such a unique story, in trucking. And so yeah, Trucker Wild. Let's see. He says, sup from Missouri. Kangaroo Trucker says, I'm going to try one. Like you said, $5 worth it. Yeah, I mean, you can get a pack of 2 for like $5 if I'm not mistaken. And it's like so simple. It's just a little piece of plastic, it's just a little plastic whistle. And when you drive down the road, air goes through it, makes a high pitch like dog whistle noise, and, gets the deer's attention. So, I don't know. I'm definitely, Wild Bill has sold me on him. He ought to be the spokesman for deer whistles, because I haven't put deer whistles on the truck in probably 7 or 8 years, but he's got me thinking about it, and I'm like, oh yeah. Like, especially this time of year, as we come into the fall, which I don't want to talk about winter or fall yet. Too early. We're in summer. But get them now, and you'll have them for when that the time of year we not speak about around here comes around. Trucker Wild just ordered 2 389s. We getting real with Rush Truck Center in Dallas. What? Ordered 2 389s. Come on, man. I like to hear that. I like to hear people doing business, doing good. Trucker Wild rain guards. LOL. Yeah, I've searched it in a million different ways, and I cannot find the ones I'm looking for. Like I said, they don't go over the window. They're mounted to the pillar between the windshield and the door. And yeah, it's like a piece of plastic. I don't know, they look about 2 foot long, maybe like 2 foot long, maybe, I don't know, 4 inches, 3 inches wide, and it's got these little like pieces of plastic that come out from it about 2 inches. And I'm assuming that is to like push the air around so it doesn't get your mirror. Like Volvo has those things, deflectors on there. So yeah, I would love to have something that helps keep the crap vent visor. Yeah, I've searched that too. Like I said, it's not to do with the window. It just keeps the crap off your mirrors. It like pushes the air around or in between better. I went as far on my other Freightliner as I put Gorilla duct tape on the side of my mirror to block some of the road, the water coming from the windshield around onto the mirror. Because to me, that is Freightliner really needs to work on that design. Because the way their mirror housing is and their cover, it doesn't come around the mirror. It like, yeah, it comes around it enough to like keep the, make it aerodynamic, but it doesn't come around it enough to like protect the windows. So I don't know. I'm highly annoyed by it. Because like right now, I need to get out there and clean my mirrors because I drove through, 5 minutes of rain earlier. So we'll see. Yeah, well, tell me more about these 389s, man. If you, I'm sure you're going to make video about it, but I am interested. 2 389s going big. Trucker Wild, rain guards, LOL. Yeah, we're going big. It sounds like it, Trucker Wild. Trucker Wild said I could order me a 389 or I could order me 2 of them. And I hope you're getting like buy one, get one half off or something like that on this. Because I know Peterbilt loves cutting deals. So let's see what we got here. Trucker Wild, you're so right. On the way. Yep. So I guess you're heading back up toward the house maybe in Missouri, or are you going to Dallas to get those trucks from Missouri? Man, I'm happy for you. That is good stuff. But yeah, I'm in Michigan right now. I got a load of produce, a shady load of produce on. The broker, I picked up the load and the broker told me, don't dare give those bill of ladings that the customer gave you at the shipper to the people at the receiver. He said, just throw those bills away. I'll email you some new bills. So I got to go in Love's and get these new bills that got faxed over. So yeah, some shadiness going on over there for sure. Let's see what's going on here. Kangaroo Trucker, I think this is it, Cash. Check it out later when you're done. Okay. Yeah, I'll go back and I'll check it out. Sorry, I'm distracted here. This guy in front of me has got a Ryder truck, and he's got the mechanic at Love's putting on a windshield wiper for him. There's some things I think you should be able to do as a trucker, like put a windshield wiper on should be one of them. That's pretty basic stuff. Trucker Wild, on the way home, call me going to New York. Wow. Yep, heading back to the house. That's the way to do it. I thought about rolling back to the house, but I could have got a load out of Chicago tomorrow going back to the house, but it was like I would have got a 34-hour reset in Chicago, and then took a 500-mile load to the house, and then I would, if I'm at the house, I want to take time off. So I used to stop at Sawyer, Michigan at the 12-mile stick on 94 when I ran Michigan. Yeah, I can't remember. Let's see. I'm at, I don't know what exit I'm at now that I think about it. I don't know. I'm near Jackson, because I know I got to drop down south from Jackson and go to Ohio. I'm going to the middle of nowhere in Ohio. Wild Bill says, I used to stop. Okay, I just read that one. Kangaroo Trucker says, Wild Bill is right. Google vent visor for semi. I saw one there. Okay, vent visor. Let me see what I get when I do vent visor. Are you doing just vent visor, or like vent visor for Freightliner, or vent visor? I'm going to do vent visor Cascadian. Let's see what we get from that. Cascadia sun visor. Let's see. Yeah, it's showing like I mean, I'm seeing like the things that go over the, that go over the window, but I'm not seeing the like stick on things that go like on the pillar. They're just a straight piece of plastic. And cause see, I'm not worried about the water getting on the window or being able to crack the window. I just want the water to stop getting on my mirrors. Yeah, I'll look more into that. I don't know. Because Vent Visor Cascadia is just showing me like the ones that go over the window. Um, I don't know. I'll dig into it more. Larry White, what's up, brother? Appreciate you coming in, Larry White. It is a good time to go truck driving school. Yeah, man, it's always a good time to go truck driving school. Um, I'll put it to you like this: if you go to truck driving school and you keep yourself out of trouble, and you can always pass a drug test and a DOT physical. You got money in your pocket. Now you may have to do some stuff when you start out that you don't like to do. I always tell people trucking ain't fun in the beginning. Um, Now you do your research, it can be better, but it's probably not going to be fun at the beginning. But like I said, if you can keep yourself out of trouble, you can, yeah, I definitely go to truck driving school. It's one of those things. It's like minimum. It's like having 50 grand a year income if you're willing to go work. Like, I mean, pretty much any truck driving job you can think of. You know, you can go pull down 50 grand. Now you get you some experience. You study, you learn the trucking business. Before you know it, that income's going way up, way up. So yeah, most definitely, man. I would recommend truck driving school. It's it's an industry that there's so many people that come and go. There's always going to be opportunity. That's just the way it is. Um, I think I told the story the other day when I went to truck driving school. Um, I think the class started out with maybe 30 or 40 guys, and it changed a lot in like the first week. Probably, we were down from like say 30 guys. The end of the first week we was probably down to 25. The end of the second week we was probably down, half. It's just because a lot of people don't want to be away from home like that, and if you live in the right area, you don't have to be away from home. There's a lot of places that'll start you out local now. So yeah, truck driving is a great industry, I think. I mean, I don't know, if you play your cards right, and you do a few things correctly, you can be making 100 grand a year. Let's see, and I don't know many, like I don't even have a high school diploma. I opted to take the GED test like about 3 months before I graduated. Now I was on pace to graduate, but the way it was going, it was like, okay, I can graduate high school, or I can just get the GED now. And it was like, it wasn't like I was going to graduate high school as a valedictorian or anything. I was barely going to pass. And it's like, what's the difference between barely passing high school or barely passing a GED? So I opted for the GED situation. But I don't know many industries where a guy can basically have no education other than a 3-week training course, and play their cards right, and make first year you could probably make 50 grand your first year, if you play it right. Maybe find a decent regional company to start out with for like the first 6 months, and then start looking around at 6 months to get out of the starter company, and bam, you're on your way. Go follow Kangaroo Trucker. It's in here. Check out Kangaroo Trucker, Larry. he's been driving for 18 months now, and he drives for ATS. And you know, that's one of those companies. That's a good company to get on with. Um, they're definitely not a bottom feeder type company. Let's see what else we got here. Larry White says, I don't smoke or drink. I love to drive. I have a license and my twice card. That's TWIC card, I'm assuming. TWIC card already. Yeah, you're ahead of the game, Larry White. I don't know, the title, just because your name is Larry White, the name of the live stream is, Does Your Truck Have a Name? If anybody names their truck out there, be sure to put that in the chat. Let me know what your truck's name is. I finally came up with a name for mine the other day, and I was calling her Bessie. And I've had this truck for about 3 or 4 months now. I was calling her Bessie, but I wasn't really crazy about Bessie. So, all right, we're back. Here we go. Sorry about all the glitching, guys. YouTube does not like me being live, apparently. And my phone battery is dying, so that may have something to do with it. But anyway, yeah, Larry White, I named my truck. I was saying, I was calling this truck Bessie, and then I was like, I don't really like Bessie, because I like naming my trucks female names, but I don't name them like, stripper names. All right, we back. Sorry about that, everybody. Got some glitching going on. Get my charger going there. Phone battery was dying. Appreciate everybody sticking with me through all the glitching. Man, I know it's annoying when you're trying to watch a live and it's all glitchy. But yeah, anyway, I was saying I named my trucks after, they're always girl names, but they're never like stripper names. You'll never catch me in a truck called Cinnamon, or a truck called Diamond, or like I like real names. So I named this truck Betty, and it's a white truck. Oh my goodness, glitching and more glitching. Sorry about that, everybody. Let me run through this chat real quick. I think I'm fixing to wrap this up because YouTube is throwing a fit on me. But yeah, I was saying I named this truck Betty, and she's white, so I'm going to call her Betty White. So that's where I was getting with that long, drawn out story. But definitely, say you got your Class B, just throw a Class A on there and an air brake, and get all the endorsements. All right, sorry about all that, guys. I mean, I don't know, on my end it's horrible. It just keeps locking up, so I'm assuming it's doing that on your end too. Yeah, I would get all the endorsements. If you're gonna go get your Class A and an air brake on there, go ahead and get your doubles, triples, hazmat, tanker. Just get them all. Just get them all when you're getting them. Because most of the time your start out company will reimburse you for all that. So let them pay for all that, and then you got them forever, whether you stay there or not. Wild don't use Rain-X. It works on the mirrors. Don't use Rain-X. It works on the mirrors. Are you saying it goes from the windshield to the mirrors? Red 5 Transport. Thanks for coming in, brother. Appreciate everybody coming in. Good to see you here. Red 5 Transport says Irene. He's got a truck named Irene. That is a good truck name. I like that. Paul Harris. My graduating class had 10. Within 6 months, there was 3 with a job. All the others left due to the lack of home time. Yeah. Being on the road is no fun, let me tell you. When you're first starting out, it takes some real adjustment, especially if you've got like an easy, nice lifestyle. It can be like very stressful. But yeah, I recommend going and getting your CDL, Larry White, definitely. But guys, I'm gonna hop off here. My battery's dying, and as soon as I plug my phone in, it starts glitching and locking up. So I'm gonna hop off here. I appreciate everybody coming in today. If you could hit that like button on the way out. If you're not subscribed to me, go ahead and do that too. I don't charge for that. Yeah, I'm gonna run in here and buy some deer whistles at the Loves. and I got a 10 a.m. delivery in the morning. So I don't know. May try a live again later. I'm trying to do a lot of these, trying to figure out what times work. I appreciate everybody coming in. Appreciate everybody talking about their truck names and contributing to the conversation. And until next time, guys, take care of each other out there. Bye.